I used to wonder, why do things not work out, and why do things work out for me? And the big thing that I discovered here, and this, when I quit and when I started doing this, that's when I noticed like the big changes in my life. It was the fact that I started to trust myself. I know that sounds simple, but it took time to develop this. It's not, when I talk about trust yourself, this is something next level. This is something deeper, because I want to show you something about how this works and how you work. Because we have so much different identities or identification of different selves. We have our ego, which many of us don't even know. And then we have the true self, the higher self. That's what I'm referring to here. And once I started to trust myself more, that's when everything actually started working out. I mean, let me show you something deep. You're here right now. If you're watching this video, you're here right this minute. That means from every moment of every situation that ever happened into your life, you've survived. You're here. So if you think about it and you go back into your own mind, think about all those difficult times and all those things you couldn't get out of or you think you wouldn't happen. But for somehow, right, some reason, it worked out. You're like, man, yeah, things always do seem to work out. But why do I never think about it? Why never focus on it? Why do I never get that from the start? Why do I always have to worry? But in the end, things seem to work out, right? Yeah, because let me show you why things will work out for you. Because every single thing was set in motion before you and I were ever here. Repeat that again. Every single thing was set in motion before you and I came here. You see, you and I, we are a product of our environment. The universe that created all of this stuff, it created us. And then within that creative field, everything was already sewn and written for your particular life. You have the ability to differentiate between point A or point B, but your life was already worked out for you. The reason you don't get it or what you want is because we have the ability to freely think. And because we have the ability to freely think, we can manipulate the field, the energy. And because of that, we can kind of throw what I call a monkey wrench into our own process. I think about it all the time. I say, it's like we have to trust the process. The process is the big thing. Now think about this. Remember a time when you were ill or sick, right? You know how the feeling is, right? You just feel down, not motivated. Your body's fighting. You just feel man. Sometimes you feel I don't even know I'm gonna get over this. It's and then this voice in your head would always tell you, man, no, it's not. The negative voice would come and attack you, right? And we succumb to that voice. And we succumb to that voice because we accept it as us. But once you start to now understand that voice is not you, and you start to trust yourself, you start to get into what I call the flow state now. That's what changed. Once I quit worrying and once I started trusting myself, and here's what trusting yourself is about. It's about listening, not a physical listen. It's a spiritual listen. It's a different language that's talking to you. And you watch and you become non-attached. That's trusting yourself. When you trust yourself, the confidence opens up. The opportunities open up. but I never was trusting myself until I realized who I was and what power I had. And I realized, I said, whoa. So when I trust myself, I trust everything I create, because I'm coming through that creation. And I just started to trust myself more. I just started to focus in. I started to let go. I started to watch behind the scenes. And then one of the most powerful tools I use, and I'll share with you guys, is I started to take every single moment of whatever situation I would go into. I would take that situation and I would neutralize it. I wouldn't give that situation any power. I didn't allow my ego to give judgment on anything or say, well, this is it. I look at every situation just is. Because right, in reality, that's what it is, right? All the situations you go through, everything in your life is just is, right? So we give a meaning to these things, and the meaning we give, they affect the vibration, and they can definitely screw up your life in some way. So when you trust yourself, that's when your self works things out for you. When you trust yourself, your self work things out for you. That's when you will start to get into your big goals. Now you start to manifest more, because now you understand what I call the game. That's what it truly is. And that's the problem with a lot of people, guys. We don't trust ourselves. And just the society, how we were brought up, we were really brought up not to trust. You weren't taught to be self-reliant. I'm talking about in yourself, believe in yourself. A lot of us just we weren't taught to believe in ourselves. And that creates a lot of negative stuff. So, if you want to take it to the next level, you have to trust yourself, man. And you trust yourself by listening, like I talked about, right? Meditation is a great way to get to that. But the best method to trust yourself is to become a non-attached. You got to kind of pretend like you're here, but you're not here. It's kind of weird. I do it like this. I know I'm here in the moment, but I pretend like the real me is watching me. So even though I'm here, I pretend like that's me here now. It's not me, it's a representative. I see myself in the background like watching me. And then when this me right here starts to do something, the me that's watching just comes in and reminds me and say, hey Mark, remember where you're at, man. It's kind of like I guess like a movie, right? Yeah, I guess you could say I would be the actor and the director at the same time, and I'm behind the director saying, Mark, da, da, da. And I find that it always works that way. So I said, you know what, let me just reverse engineer this thing. Let me stop worrying and start trusting. No matter what situation I'll go, I trust myself. I said, okay, let's see what's going to happen. What should we do? And I listen and listen. And another tip for you to trust yourself is the clues from your body. Listen to your body. Listen to the body, the emotions of the body, right? The body is going to talk to you. Listen to those tiny feelings. Remember now, the feelings I'm talking about, the ones, it's going to take a little practice, but this feeling is not one of a physical thing. It's a deep, just kind of different language. I cannot explain it in this video, but you know what I'm talking about. You'll feel it. And that's when all the stuff open up for you. Because each one of you, or all of us, me and you, each one of you guys, you want to know something fascinating? You all are individually creating your own world. Every single person. You individually create your own world. Even though we live together collectively, our subconscious collective, within the subconscious collective, there's branches. And in these branches is your own, your world, my world. And the only way to make your world the world you want is you have to trust yourself, because it knows to navigate, because everything was already set in motion. That's fuel for thought that I want to leave you with today. If you begin to trust yourself, you will see big changes and more success in all areas of your life. Remember that.